Hey everyone, Voodoo here, and I'm here today with some changes that have actually come out to the Demon Hunter class and Havoc spec tree. Mostly the Havoc spec tree, very minor to the class tree. But it's been like 2 days since the tree came out. We've already gotten changes, which is amazing. The Demon Hunter team is doing so good, and I'm very happy to see where we're going. And I think this content narration is really good. So without further ado, we're going to get into those. Before we start, just a quick reminder, small channel, so if you like the content, please consider subscribing, leaving a like and a comment. It really helps me out, really boosts engagement, really helps me grow. I'm trying to hit 500 subs before Dragonflight comes out, and I'm doing a giveaway if I do. So hit the subscribe button, and let's get into the changes. Alright, so all of the changes were announced were covered in the feedback thread for Demon Hunters. If you're a Havoc player, or I guess Vengeance, but their thing isn't out yet. When you feedback, please go leave it here. This is where the devs are really looking. Then the Discord as well, but this is a really good point to leave your feedback here. I really recommend reading through this and leaving feedback if you have any valuable stuff. I'll be making a post later. Anyway, so there's 3 things, including a brand new tree update, which is really exciting. So the first thing here, Glide is being removed as Momentum's trigger. This is a pretty big deal. So Glide being in Momentum kind of led to you having basically 100% uptime on Momentum. And you needed to kind of weave Glide into your abilities, and this was not very fun or enjoyable. The fact that Glide just kind of pushes you so far meant that it would really disrupt your play, right? Especially having to do it every 6 seconds or so. The best way to do this actually was just to macro Glide into your abilities, and that's just not fun to play as. So they've removed that. And they also talked about how Momentum has been very divisive, and they're actually moving it to a side point on the tree and putting a different capstone in. They're going to put Essence Break. Now, I think this is really cool. So what they're saying is they're modifying Essence Break to be kind of a medium cooldown burst option, which is really, really good because one of my biggest things with Havoc and with the tree was that we just lacked a burst option. So hopefully they make this like a minute or something. Just if it keeps it at 20 seconds, I think we're going to have too much button bloat around the 20-second range because they've added a bunch of stuff in that range for us to do. There's a lot of buttons right now for Havoc. So hopefully they make it about a minute and a half maybe, and they make it do a larger increase to our damage so we actually have some option of burst because there's not ending on the tree, right? We're lacking that. They talk about how this is a good kind of thing to give that identity to and to give the option for people who enjoy the Momentum playstyle to have the option but not be forced into it. Also, Glide being removed kind of does neuter Momentum a little bit and doesn't make it like a capstone power level. So I think this is a good change. There's a lot more they're doing, and I think really this is going to end up very good once it's on the tree on Tuesday. I'll probably have a video going over that and testing it, but I think this is a really good change overall. They do another change. Let's go down here. So the other big thing is that the talent Hot Feet, which was in the top right of the tree, that added an extra charge to Fell Rush, which is bad. It's really kind of a really wasted talent, especially on the spec tree, where your talents, each point is just such a large increase to throughput, right? That having to spec into this second point of Fell Rush was really bad, and it was also in a really restrictive part of the tree, right? Like you basically had to take it. So they're doing this. They're moving it into the class tree. They're putting it where Master Glaive was. So pretty much they're putting it in the very first row in the middle. So it's basically going to be one of the first points you spend. So that's a good change, I think. You're always basically going to have this. And now they're combining Master of Glaive with the talent that slowed it down on the left side and ahead of the Magic DR. And making it basically the current talent of Master of Glaive on live. So giving you 2 charges of it and giving it the slow. Again, great change. Having that ability to grab 2 Fell Rush charges and just basically having it essentially baseline now for 1 talent point on the class tree where stuff is much less impactful and you're going to go down that middle row anyways is really good, right? So I'm glad that they've made this quick turnaround on the feedback there and push that to the class tree. It also lets Vengeance have access to 2 charges of their Infernal Strike whenever they come out. So that's really good. Also giving us Master of the Glaive back to the slow and the double charges is great as well, especially with the increased emphasis on Glaive in our spec tree. So a good quick change there. Now we're going to keep going down. And here we go. So this is the biggest change here. This is basically the new tree. So there's a few things to go over here. So the thing that they're moving with Hot Feet is going to be right here. We're going to increase the size here so people can see it a little bit better. So this is where Hot Feet used to be. It's now going to be something that increases Throw Glaive. We don't know what that is, essentially. There's a few other talents that we don't really know what they're doing. There's also, I'm guessing, going to be changes to the class tree, because I believe this is Demonic Appetite, unless it's something else that uses the same image, which means that Demonic Appetite no longer is on the class tree, so we'll see what goes there. But first impressions, I think this tree, overall, I think the left side is actually really good. There's a few changes here. I think the right side needs some more work, but we'll just go down it. So moving the choice node between Insatiable Hunger and Demon Blades up here, really good change. I still think you're always just going to take Demon Blades. I don't really think there's a point in taking Insatiable Hunger much, especially with all the buttons we have. I think that's a good change. Making it so Trail of Ruin doesn't lock these talents behind it, all these single target talents, is really good. I think that as well, increasing kind of the connectivity here was also good, so you don't have to go on the sides as much. This is the Fell Rush damage, this is Dancing with Fate. I do think that the new point place for Trail of Ruin is in a bit of a weird spot, but we'll get there when we go further down. Making Fell Eruption and the name's escaping me, but the immunity lead further down into the tree is really good, and actually allows these to possibly be chosen if you need them, because you can still go down through the tree instead of having to put nodes over here, so that's a great change. They swapped serrated, the one where you throw glaive and make increased damage from I-beam, so that's a good change with this one here, the longer channel, and the give fury, I'm pretty sure. Good change, because this is kind of your throw glaive side of the tree. This, and this are your three buttons that affect throw glaive, so good change. This is fine where it is now. Really, this would have excuse me, gone down and affected Cycle of Hatred, but they've moved Cycle of Hatred. They've put momentum on this side here, which is really good. So basically now you have the initiative, which triggers off of dealing damage first, it's first strike. And then Vengeful Retreat kind of resets the cooldown on that, so that's good. Into UBC, into Vengeful Retreat giving you Fury, into Momentum. So this line makes a lot of sense now. All these kind of interact with each other and synergize with each other, which I think is really good. They put Essence Break down here. This is the, we don't know how this will be changed yet. This will be like our big capstone. They made the crit damage thing lower down and made it 2 points. Excuse me. I think that's fine. 2 points on this. It really was a powerful node. It's crazy, like just a small amount of crit scaling really increased our damage. So I think making this 2 points is fine, making it a little more costly to take. However, it being locked behind Isolated Prey or Momentum, I don't think it's very good design. Because basically in single target or in like 2 target, you'd basically either have to invest your points into this Momentum line here. So you'd have to invest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points along this line to come down and get this. Or in single target, you have to get Isolated Prey. I think that's good of a. I don't think that's really that good of a choice here. I think really you can swap Chaos Theory with Isolated Prey, and it'll work out pretty much the same. Because then you have the choice of taking Isolated Prey and single target, or you can skip Momentum in like 2 target cleave or whatever. So, but overall, I think this side is really good. In the middle here, they put Cycle of Hatred here. Now we don't know what this will change into. We don't know if it's the same thing as before. I still think it's weird that these 2 talents here interact when you enter Relieve Demonic. And then they go down to these talents with Cycle of Hatred and Shattered, whatever. The one that increases your demonic form uptime whenever you spend Fury. These incentivize you to be in demonic as much as possible, and these want you to be leaving demon form. So I think that this is kind of a weird thing that needs to be looked at. It's kind of clashing in its playstyle, which I don't really like. I think that should be changed 100%. This is kind of a weird spot in the tree. Especially since these things don't really work with demonic windows. They only work with meta right now, which is probably not intended, but yeah. They moved Ragefire down here, which is weird, because then they moved all the Immolation Aura talents over here. So Ragefire being here means that you're never really going to take it in single target, and this kind of the side of the tree is more your single target. Or sort of. You kind of have to go down through Chaotic Transformation and the one that gives you Blade Dance to get it, which is like fine, because it's only 3 points really, if you're on the right side here. However, I still think Ragefire should probably be swapped with like something on this side. I think really this far right side of the tree makes very little sense. So I think you could swap Growing Inferno with the serrated glaive, or maybe put Growing Inferno over here. Moving Ragefire back over here I think will work well. Maybe we put like Growing Inferno here, Burning Wound here, and then Ragefire, just so you have that line of Immolation Aura kind of affecting talents that, you know, would make a lot of sense. Because right now it's kind of disjointed, right? Like you have Burning Wound here, you have Growing Inferno here, and you have Ragefire here, and they all kind of interact with each other. But they're all really spread out. And Trail of Ruin, Relentless Onslaught, they don't really interact with Burning Wound or Fellow Barrage slash Glaive Tempest, so I think this is kind of a weird thing. These are kind of just moved over here to die almost. They're in weird spots that don't really make sense. I think those need to be really looked at and changed. I don't really know where those could be put that would make them in a better spot. I'm thinking maybe you can put Relentless Onslaught down here and have it link into this as well, and then maybe put this one here and move Serrated Glaive down one, and then just have Relentless Growing Inferno, Burning Wound, and Rage Fire. I think that would make it make more sense, kind of flowing together, right? Because the points would kind of interact with each other. You have your 3 Throw Glaive nodes right beside each other. You have your 3 Immolation Aura nodes beside each other, and then you'd have like Relentless Onslaught is like more of a single target thing. It'd be down near the stuff that wants you to increase your Metamorphosis uptime, and then this would just kind of be here. Just because there's no other really good place to put it, because all your Blade Dance stuff was like up here, but this is down here now. So I think that's the weird part, but I think this left side of the tree is significantly better than it was before. I think the momentum line makes a lot of sense, and I really think that changing kind of these 2 lines here and swapping these 2 talents would really bolster up the new spec tree. I think it'd be a really good change. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm curious to see how it will be when it comes out onto the next alpha build, and I will be talking about it then. But really happy to see these like fast changes to the tree. It's only been a few days since we got it. It came out on Thursday, I believe. It could be even Wednesday, but Thursday or Wednesday. And I'm just pretty hyped to see where Havoc Demon Hunter goes. So that's it for the video today. If you enjoyed it, I would really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button, leave a like or a comment. It really helps me out. I'll have more videos going over alpha stuff and Havoc Demon Hunter and all that jazz over the coming days and weeks. And I really appreciate everyone's support, and I'll see you guys next time.